We understand an upside-down world. But they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day, and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more, because we have an appointment with destiny.
Hey, sports fans, welcome back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. Christian Pedersen here. I know it's the football offseason right now, but I wanted to update you on some of the coaching changes that have happened. We've got huge programs all across the county changing of the guards, if you will. I want to talk specifically, though, about Oceanside here and maybe ask a little bit of dialogue back and forth. See what you guys think. I was talking with Tommy and Bodie and all of them, and they will be back for this. This is just my independent thoughts on all this. This is less reporting and more pontificating and thoughts about the state of Oceanside. Historically speaking, there are a few programs in San Diego high school football that are as tentpole, rock solid, blue blood programs as Oceanside. Helix comes to mind. Lincoln comes to mind. Recently, Cathedral Catholic. It's a pretty short list. And it deserves to be a short list when you look at the grand scheme of things that everything Oceanside has accomplished. Under Coach Carroll, they were a national powerhouse. What happened? How did we go from there to 0-10 last season and having to get a new coach that took 70 candidates and a lot longer than I think even the Oceanside administration had planned on that process taking? They wind up with Oceanside alumni Fale Pomele, and I am probably saying that wrong. You can judge by my skin tone. I probably don't have a great feel for the Samoan pronunciation of things, but Coach, I look forward to getting a lot better at that over a long period of time, because it seems like after, like I said, Oceanside kind of coming to a couple of false starts, a couple of false launches on naming a new coach, that they found somebody who is here for the long haul. He was an Oceanside alumni in the 90s. He was there. Him and his brother were part of 2 CIF championship teams. Coach then went on to play at SDSU and has given back to the community. He's coached El Camino. He's coached at San Marcos, coached at Palomar College most recently. And you could ask, why am I focusing on Oceanside? They were 0-10. They fell down to D2. Talk to us about other programs. This one to me is an interesting one, though, because I think of all of the programs here in San Diego, the upsides have to be almost infinite. You would assume that the 0-10 is not because there is no more football talent available within Oceanside's parameters for drawing from people. It was a slow death by 1,000 paper cuts. The problem just kind of got, I don't want to say ignored. I was not in the meetings, and I don't want to mischaracterize what the administration doing, but sometimes, you see 5-5 as not a problem because they're playing tough teams, and you wait until it's just a little bit too late, and then the problem reaches 0-10. Going winless for the first time since before World War II, like, that's bad. That's bottoming out. That's rock bottom. It does not get worse than that. You can't get worse than that. So I guess, we'll see that if them getting to that point and reaching that point where they had to then really take some self-evaluation time as an administration, as a school, as to what is their philosophy, who are they bringing in. We know that there was ex-NFL quarterbacks, guys from the community, local other high school coaches, a lot of people, 70 people apparently, according to the Oceanside AD, applied for this job. They chose one of their own. They chose an Oceanside alumni, and I can give Brad Hollingsworth nothing but an ovation. If I could stand up here without freaking out the intern, I would be giving Brad Hollingsworth a standing ovation for this, because this is a great hire. The question, though, to me, is, does the potential still exist for Oceanside? Or are we past the point where something like a perfect hire can fix this situation? Looking at last year, 0-10 is big. But 0-10 could have also very sneakily saved Oceanside instead of them hiring Coach Pomele 2 or 3 years ago when Oceanside was still at the lowest end of D1. Oceanside has now gone down to Division 2, and they are low in Division 2. They're mid to lower tier in Division 2, and just in terms of the CIF numbers and the power, the mathematical rubric that they do at the beginning of the year. Why do I bring that up as a good versus a bad? Because a lot of people say, oh, Oceanside into D2, like, never thought we'd see the day. No, we never did think we would see the day, but also this is hypothetically, theoretically, what the CIF system is about. Is that if you are not where you used to be, either low or high, you're not going to be punished forever and have to then be back to being Oceanside does not have to flip the switch and overnight become an open division team that can compete with Julian Sayin and Poway and Helix and all those. Oceanside can even benefit from Coach, sort of ripping all the wires out and reconstructing and going 1-9 or 2-8 and slipping all the way even down to D3. Not saying that that's going to happen, but I'm saying that from an outsider's perspective looking in, what we have seen is Oceanside on life support for the last couple of years, meaning a half-hearted. Some of the communities in, some of the communities transferring. You start to see some kids who have, the choice of El Camino or San Marcos and Mission Hills, and that wins out now, where 10, 15 years ago, there would be no thought or discussion on it because you wanted to go to Oceanside. You needed to go to play at Oceanside. That was your gateway to the next level. That was your gateway to success. That was just the cool thing to do. Michael Hobbs at El Camino has been housing championships, both league and CIF titles in the last 5 years like crazy. San Marcos has come back down a little bit to earth, but they were a D1 powerhouse producing Division I kids up until a couple years ago. Mission Hill's always been good. All of those schools up in the area, the competition, yes, it is growing for Oceanside, but the talent is still there. The championship caliber talent is still within the confines of that area code, in that community. And there's, I would assume, sort of bags full of cash, which I don't think that they're going to go do. There's only one way to get that talent back, and that's to win. How do you win? You find a talent level appropriate for winning. If Oceanside has to have a bad year where they can get all their younger kids some varsity experience and some growing pains while they're figuring out where they exist in the new ecosystem, and they drop down into D3, or it takes them, say, 2 or 3 years to level out, get everybody back into, fighting shape, if you will, get coach's chance to figure out his coordinators, get everything really installed and implemented from like a JV freshman roots up level. You look up and down in that and you tell me that anybody in D2 or D3 could stop an Oceanside team that's on the come up? No. Then you win one. Or you get to the semifinals for a couple of years and you get back up, you get nudged up, you get that momentum going. And you're not going to be, Oceanside's going to go house D3 championships forever. Like, no, man. That's how the system is supposed to work. A school that is traditionally a powerhouse, down on its luck because of demographics or time or change or whatever, flips the switch, pumps the brakes, starts going back up the other way. That's what they've got a chance to do. They have got a chance to, with Coach right now, start a clean slate. Get all geared back up. And I don't see why, when you've got a guy who lives like a mile or something from the campus, like John Maffey said in his Union Tribune article, and we'll include the links to all that. John always does great work. Love the Union Tribune. But, it's a guy that lives there and he gets it. And I would assume also, maybe is even more, like I said, he's the right choice because he's a guy who has still been here. If they had the choice between NFL journeyman quarterback, a lot of big brand name, if you will, how dialed in is that kid to the needs of the Oceanside high school student on and off that campus, because that's everyone's a unique community. A bit of an overused word, but the Oceanside area is a little bit of a different vibe than, say, 80% of the rest of the schools have to do. And I know everyone has to deal with their thing, and Oceanside, their thing is just a little bit more off the field and diverse and eclectic than I think some coaches are necessarily emotionally and mentally prepared to have to handle. So hiring a local guy who knows the success, who knows the aura, the legends, just the standard for where Oceanside used to be is a great one. But combine that with a team that has a chance to be in a more competitive division because of 0-10, that's a bounce back right there. They're going to still have to figure out how they want to do it. Both their quarterbacks that took snaps last year were seniors. Almost all of their running backs that did anything sort of positive yardage contributions were seniors. JV didn't necessarily have they were 1-9 also. So it's not like there is a younger class just sitting there poised, ready to be the bounce back squad. Someone's going to have to still answer, or multiple someones are still going to have to answer the bell for Oceanside to actually get it done on campus and on the field. But as far as off seasons go, this could be one that we are looking at in 5 or 10 years as, damn, that's when everything changed. When Oceanside brought in a new coach and really hit the restart, the dynamics all of North County started to shift. We'll see. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. Only time will tell. Like I said, there's a lot of other coaching hires to discuss. This one was just an Oceanside-specific rant. I really appreciate you checking that out. Got a lot of other great stuff going on all off season long. If you are just a football addict, if you're not just a football addict, check out some of our other basketball, baseball, soccer, all that kind of good stuff. Until we talk to you again, sports fans, thank you very much for checking in with San Diego Prep Insider. Thank you very much to the California Army National Guard for their support of our show. We'll talk to you guys soon.